Alexander the Great, born in Pella in 356 BC, was the son of King Philip II of Macedonia and his fourth wife, Olympias. His birth was surrounded by prophecies and omens, marking him as a child destined for greatness. Raised in the royal court, he was groomed to be a leader from a young age, displaying a keen intellect and a fearless spirit. Alexander's parents, King Philip II and Queen Olympias, both played crucial roles in shaping his destiny. His father was a formidable king and a military genius who transformed Macedonia into a dominant military power in Greece. His mother, Olympias, a fiercely ambitious woman, instilled in Alexander a belief in his own divine origin, fueling his ambition to achieve greatness. The influence of his mother, Olympias, on Alexander's life was profound. A deeply religious woman, she filled young Alexander's mind with tales of his divine lineage and his destiny to conquer. Her tales of the Greek heroes and gods not only inspired his dreams of glory, but also cultivated in him a sense of duty and purpose. One of the most significant aspects of Alexander's early life was his education under the tutelage of Aristotle. The renowned philosopher was hired by King Philip II to educate his son. Aristotle's teachings had a profound influence on Alexander, shaping his philosophical outlook, political ideologies, and military strategies. In 336 BC, the murder of King Philip II resulted in Alexander ascending to the throne. Despite his youth, he was well prepared for the challenge. His education, the years spent observing his father's rule, and his own innate leadership qualities all contributed to his readiness to take on the mantle of king. His ascension marked the beginning of a new era in the history of Macedonia and the world. After the death of King Philip II, Alexander ascended to the throne at the tender age of 20. He inherited a powerful but unstable kingdom, rife with internal conflicts and external threats. Alexander swiftly demonstrated his strategic acumen by neutralizing potential rebellions and consolidating his power. His early reign marked a new era of Macedonian dominance, with Alexander at the helm. At the Battle of Chaeronea, Alexander achieved his first major victory, marking his debut as a formidable military leader. Despite being significantly outnumbered, his tactical brilliance led Macedonian forces to a decisive triumph over the combined forces of Athens and Thebes, which solidified his reputation and increased his confidence. However, the peace didn't last long. The city of Thebes revolted against Alexander's rule, forcing him to take swift and brutal action. The subsequent suppression of the Theban rebellion was a stark demonstration of Alexander's ruthless determination to maintain control. The city was razed to the ground, its inhabitants enslaved, and its treasuries plundered, sending a clear message to other potential rebels. Having established his control over Greece, Alexander turned his attention to the Persian Empire, a long-standing adversary of Macedonia. The Battle of Granicus marked the beginning of his Persian campaign. Alexander's forces, although outnumbered, managed to achieve a decisive victory, largely due to Alexander's innovative tactics and bold leadership. This victory was a significant turning point, marking the start of the decline of the Persian Empire. The siege of Gordium, a city in Phrygia, was a key strategic move in Alexander's campaign. The city was known for the legendary Gordian knot, a complex knot tied by Gordius, the king of Phrygia. As per the prophecy, whoever could untie the knot would rule all of Asia. Alexander, unable to untie the knot, slashed it with his sword, symbolically claiming his destined rule over Asia. The Battle of Issus marked a significant point in Alexander's conquest. His strategic prowess was on full display as he faced the Persian king Darius III for the first time. Despite being outnumbered, Alexander's tactical genius led his army to a resounding victory, striking a severe blow to the Persian morale and marking Alexander as a formidable force. In the aftermath of his victory at Issus, Alexander led his army to Egypt, a Persian territory. The Egyptians, weary of Persian rule, received Alexander as a liberator. His time there culminated in the founding of Alexandria, a city that would become a beacon of Hellenistic culture and knowledge. While in Egypt, Alexander visited the oracle of Ammon. The priest declared him as the son of Ammon, equating him with the pharaohs of Egypt. This divine status in Egyptian culture further solidified his position as not only a military leader, but also a godlike figure, enhancing his influence over the conquered lands. The Battle of Gaugamela is seen as Alexander's crowning military achievement. Despite facing an army significantly larger than his own, his innovative strategies resulted in a decisive victory. This battle marked the end of Darius III's rule and set the stage for Alexander's complete control over the Persian Empire. After Gaugamela, Alexander moved towards Susa and Persepolis, the capitals of the Persian Empire. The capture of these cities symbolized the end of the Persian Empire and the beginning of a new era. Alexander's policy was not just to conquer, but to incorporate the conquered people into his growing empire, showcasing his unique approach to dominion. Alexander the Great's leadership style was unique for his time. He led from the front, often being the first to charge into battle. He was known for his charisma and ability to inspire his men to great lengths. He treated his soldiers fairly, often dining with them, listening to their concerns, and even ensuring they received the spoils of war. His leadership style was a key factor in the loyalty he commanded among his troops. The Indian campaign was one of Alexander's most challenging military operations. He faced a formidable opponent in King Porus at the Battle of Hydaspes. Despite being outnumbered, Alexander's strategic brilliance and the courage of his troops led to a hard-fought victory. This battle showcased his ability to adapt to new forms of warfare, including the use of war elephants by his Indian opponents. However, the campaign in India was also a turning point for Alexander and his men. The long years of campaigning had taken a toll on his soldiers, leading to a mutiny at the Bees River. The men, weary and longing for their homes, refused to march further east. Alexander, for the first time, was forced to turn back. Alexander's policy of cultural fusion was another significant aspect of his rule. He encouraged marriages between his Greek soldiers and local women, adopted local customs, and spread Greek culture across his empire. This policy not only helped in the administration of his vast empire, but also left a lasting cultural impact long after his death. The death of his close friend and general Hephaestion was a heavy blow to Alexander. He plunged into deep grief, organizing extravagant funerals and even attempting to deify his fallen friend. This event hinted at his emotional side and showed the extent to which he relied on his closest companions. It also marked the beginning of the end for Alexander, who would die less than a year later. Alexander the Great's mysterious illness and sudden death have been the subject of speculation for centuries. In 323 BC, after a night of heavy drinking and feasting, Alexander fell ill. His health deteriorated rapidly, and despite the best efforts of his physicians, he died after 12 agonizing days. The cause of his death remains a mystery, with theories ranging from poisoning to malaria, typhoid fever, or other natural causes. Following his sudden death, a power vacuum emerged within his empire, leading to the Wars of the Diadochi. His generals and companions, known as the Diadochi, fought among themselves for control of different parts of the sprawling empire. This period of conflict and uncertainty lasted for nearly 4 decades, resulting in the fragmentation of Alexander's once unified empire into several smaller Hellenistic states. The spread of Greek culture, known as the Hellenization process, is another significant aspect of Alexander's legacy. As he conquered different regions, He introduced Greek language, art, science, and philosophy, facilitating a cultural exchange that shaped the development of Western civilization. Cities like Alexandria in Egypt became major centers of learning and culture, embodying the Hellenistic ideals of cosmopolitanism and intellectualism. Alexander the Great's military tactics and strategies have been studied and admired by military leaders throughout history. His innovative use of the phalanx formation, combined with his ability to adapt to different battle conditions, allowed him to win battles against larger and seemingly superior forces. His tactical genius, combined with his charismatic leadership, enabled him to create one of the largest empires in history. The influence of Alexander the Great on future military leaders is undeniable. From Julius Caesar to Napoleon Bonaparte, many have studied and emulated Alexander's strategies. They admired his courage, tactical brilliance, and his ability to inspire his men. His leadership style, defined by boldness and vision, has become a standard for military leaders. Alexander had a vision of a united world, a global empire bound by a common culture and language. He actively promoted the fusion of Persian and Greek cultures in his empire and encouraged intermarriage between his Greek soldiers and Persian women. This idea of a cosmopolitan empire was revolutionary and represented a new concept of kingship and governance. However, Alexander's reign was not without controversies and criticisms. His methods were often brutal, and he showed no mercy to those who opposed him. He had a ruthless ambition and a hunger for power that led him to conquer vast territories without regard for the cost of human life. His heavy drinking and volatile temper also led to poor decisions, resulting in the loss of many loyal followers. The mystery surrounding Alexander's death continues to intrigue historians. He died suddenly at the age of 32, with the cause of death still uncertain. Some theories suggest natural causes such as malaria or typhoid fever, while others propose poisoning. His premature death marked the end of an era, but his legacy as Alexander the Great, the man, the myth, the legend, endures.